Guys, how's it going? So I'm kind of filming this in my car, and I'll probably add pictures over top, layer it over so you just don't see darkness, because that would be kind of odd. But I'm driving home, and I'm kind of thinking of the game last night, or whatever resemblance of a game it was. And yeah, it was pretty bad. Kind of pathetic, honestly, and really hard to watch. It had a lot of the same themes from the Giants game that just carried over, and it's kind of been a trend throughout the whole season. And I'm sure as you all are listening, you probably have a clue of the trends. It's not like one-off trends or, even game-to-game type things where maybe one game your offense lacks and the other your defense lacks, and add some special teams blunders in there, and maybe there's a bunch of one-off reasons why you're losing games. But I mean, at least we know the glaring holes. I don't know if that's better or worse. Probably worse, just because it just doesn't seem like it's getting any better. Actually, it feels like it's getting worse. And we can kind of just run through the glaring holes. I mean, as you all are probably aware of, the first thing, of course, is the offense and slow starts. Now, the slow starts really bother me because you're kind of putting yourself in a hole at the start of the game that you got to climb out of. And we all know that this defense will feast when they have a lead, right? If you give this defense a lead and say, hey, keep this lead, keep it going, and we're going to win the game basically by dominating, making sure that we have that lead. It's going to be fun, and they want that, and we haven't had that this season. I mean, think of all the times we've had a lead. I mean, most of the wins we have come from miraculous fourth quarter comebacks, so it's really not, we're not really playing with a lead. So, and that's a big reason why it's just the slow starts, right? I mean, you can even see it in this game. We're down 14-0 right out of the gate. First quarter, punt return for a touchdown, and special teams blunder, which special teams has been pretty solid all year long. So, I mean, those mistakes tend to happen from time to time. I mean, it just sucks that we've had 3 now within the past 2 years, right? Punt return touchdowns. So, I mean, now you can maybe add that to a trend. But, yeah, slow starts and 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, and just sloppy offensive play, right? I mean, the defense goes out there and forces a 3-and-out, and then the offense comes in, and what do? You get a bunch of fumbles. You get sloppy passes by Zach Wilson, which quarterback play is a topic of itself, and that will probably be covered in future videos, because we're going to continue to see sloppy quarterback play, and we have, unless something drastic changes. And we're 8 games in, and once upon a time 8 games is exactly mid-season, right? You got 16 games in the season, so we're right about that midpoint, and we have really, besides the Chiefs game, our offense has been downright hideous. So, I mean, you're talking about a one-game anomaly. I'm trying to talk. So, honestly, that trend, all indications is it's going to continue. And that's unfortunate, because this defense is playing lights out, right? And a lot of the blame to go around. I know a lot of people put either all the blame or none of it on Zach Wilson, but the truth is, just by that game yesterday, I mean, it's just the whole offense is just suffering. You got fumbles, drop passes. Lazard has just been a total wash of a signing, in my opinion. Just, you can count on him to have a penalty every game and a drop, and ultimately end up in a negative situation. I mean, I guess he contributed a big catch against the Giants, but for the most part, he's been net negative, right? So, $44 million signing right there, unfortunately. But you got that. You got these boneheaded penalties that you just dig yourself into a hole. It seemed like every time we got a gain of 10 yards or more, right? It's almost as if, hey, we got 10 yards. What's going to be called to bring it back? Is there going to be a holding? Is it going to be a pre-snap penalty, right? What boneheaded mistake is going to totally wipe out any momentum and kill the drive, right? And we can talk about drives. I mean, we've had 8 scoring drives all year from the offense, right? One of them came from a gimme from Philadelphia Eagles, who wanted us to score so they can maybe climb their way back into the game the last few minutes, right? And then 3 of them came from one play, right? You got Breece Hall, second half run from the Giants, right? You got his screen pass. Then you got Garrett Wilson's slant he took to the house. So now we're talking 3 in one play, and 4 if you want to count the Eagles. So you're talking 4 actual sustained drives in 8 games. That's unacceptable. There's teams that have 4 scoring drives in 1 game. And it's long sustained drives. And guess what? More often than not, those are the teams that are contending. Those are the teams that's going to be in the playoffs. And they can have those long drives. We got to, bank on a miracle to happen, right? Breece Hall to just pull lightning out of his ass and run for 60 yards. We got to bank on that instead of consistent play. And that's the thing. Consistency. So you got these slow starts, you got no consistency on the offense. You got to basically hope the defense plays a perfect outing. Perfect. They have to be better than perfect. They have to force 8 turnovers, it seems, right? And special teams has to be perfect as well. I mean, if you eliminate everything, right? That punt return for a touchdown that gave the Chargers their first points, right? That one would have been enough to beat the Jets because they only scored 6 points on offense. So, essentially, the whole game could have been a wash for the Chargers. They didn't have to score again, and we still would have lost. Just from that. What does that say? Atrocity on the offense. It's insane. From the play calling to the fact that all defenses have to do is take away the check down, stack the box, take away the run game, and we're cooked. Because we're not going to throw more than 10 yards down the field, and they know that. It's literally like they're playing goal line defense on everywhere on the field, because that's literally what they have to do to stop us. We are not spreading the field, and they're basically torturing us for it. Opposing defenses, because they're saying, you're not going to beat us up top. We can play clunched in, and we can basically take away the running game and your check down, right? And you're screwed. I mean, how many times did Zach Wilson check it down for 2 yards? Because they took it away. Because they know that he's not going to spread the field. Right? So you got that, and you got no creativity on play calling. None. No creativity. Which could be a smaller issue, but whatever. So you got bogus play calling. Defenses don't have to do much to stop you, right? You got an inexperienced quarterback that makes stupid mistakes constantly, right? Every game he'll have 1 or 2 plays where you're like, that was good. Good job. There was a stretch where he had a couple in a row, right? But then you get in the goal line situation, then you take 2 sacks, and now all of a sudden, you're kicking a field goal on 4th and 25. What the hell is that? I mean, it takes more to have 3 good plays a game in the NFL. You need to string together 4 quarters of consistent play right? That's what it takes. And we haven't seen that at all. From the slow starts, or to the offense not starting at all, to the 3-and-outs, to the abysmal third down conversion rate, which is like the worst in the last 50-something years or something like that, where it seems. But it just, I mean, honestly, it's a joke to me. And all the fans that watch it every week, right? Now I'm just ranting at this point, but it is therapeutic on my drive home. But it feels like Adam Gase's offense is better than this. And I never thought that it would get that low. I thought that was the floor, and I thought there was only up from here. But I guess we're wrong, because at least Adam Gase's offense could score a touchdown on the first 15 scripted plays. I mean, we can't score. Like I said, we need a miracle to score. It feels like every yard is insurmountable. It feels like we need 6 downs to get a first down. Because we can't do it on third down. And we can't do it on fourth down either in garbage time, which is another thing. Nice drop pass from Uzama in the end zone. That's just a cherry on top of the crab cake. Right? So something needs to change. Okay? Because this defense is going to get sick and tired, and they're going to give up. Because we saw it last year. There was a big collapse. I mean, I don't need to remind you, we lost, the last 7 games of the year? We collapsed. And this looks a lot like that right now. And unfortunately, we were, 6-3 at one point last year? So we don't even have a better record prior to the collapse, if this is the way it's heading. Now, you won the Giants game by some stretch of miracle, a game you had no business winning, right? You lose this one, right? And the reason why is you're facing the Chargers, not the Giants. You had the same inept offense, but you faced a better team, and this is the result. We are not going to face the Giants every week. Our schedule is going to get a lot harder when we face the Dolphins and Bills back-to-back. And guess what? The Raiders don't look like a gimme anymore. Ever since they fired their head coach, they won last week. Aiden O'Connell is playing better than Zach Wilson, which is the case for pretty much every starting quarterback in the league. I mean, you got situations where Josh Dobbs comes in, 20 minutes to learn the playbook. Here you go. You're thrust into action, and he pulls it out, and you're watching games around the league. Like, I watched Sunday, because this was a Monday night game versus the Chargers. I watched Sunday, all these games where they have fluid offenses. Even the bad teams can pin together, can get drives going in a game. Even the bad teams can have a few drives. And it's not the case for us. And if it wasn't for this defense, we would be 0-8 right now if we didn't have this level of awesome defense. Championship caliber defense. Okay? We cannot get 5-8 turnovers every game and pitch a shutout. That's not going to work in today's offensive league. This league is set to put up points. It is now more than ever in favor of you putting up points in this league. Okay, there is no 85 Bears anymore, where you can just have the worst offense and coast on a historic defense. Now, I'm not saying this defense is historic, right? But they're pretty damn good. And in today's NFL, you need to put up points, and that is not happening. And if that continues to happen, we will not be in the playoffs, and there will be no opportunity for Aaron Rodgers to come back to get us into the playoffs. So yes, you have, like I said in the beginning of the video, you know your glaring holes. You know what they are. It's no surprise. It's no shock. You need to make a change. And unfortunately, The trade deadline is over, so it's not like you can trade, even though there was reported we were going after Devontae Adams. So they shot for the stars and they missed. So they ended up with nothing, right? The offensive line, didn't talk about that at all yet. I mean, I could just go on and on, right? The offensive line is terrible. Does Zach no favors. I mean, it's just the perfect storm of ineptitude. When you have play calling that doesn't look good, no creativity, you have a turnstile offensive line that seems to be different every week. They cannot get it right. Guess what we were talking about in the preseason? Offensive line. And we're still talking about it. And all we were told is it will gel. Guess what? That's not the case. And I know injuries happen, but every team is dealing with offensive line issues. It seems like every team is, aside from like those top tier ones, right? But I mean, you gotta overcome them. So you got that, and you got the fact that Lazard is a bust signing, in my opinion. Just does more harm than good, it seems, right? And we're relying on rookie wide receivers to get us by. I mean, Gibson looks better than Lazard just by eye test yesterday. At least he made some crucial third down catches. But we're relying on rookie, inexperienced wide receivers because all we have is Garrett Wilson, who's going to get double teamed every game. Defenses are going to say, hey, take away Garrett Wilson with a double team, stack the box, take away Breece Hall, have a linebacker, take away the check down, and guess what? This offense is toast. That's how you beat the Jets. And it's so simple to them, and it's going to work every time until something changes. Whether you shake up the play calling, have a new play caller, which Robert Saleh shut that down the other day, right? Put in a new quarterback, but just do something different. For the love of God, we are not this close. We are getting worse. And when it comes to November, December games, this is a time when teams put it together and make a playoff run. And we are not improving. We are looking worse and worse every week. Post-bye. What happened last year post-bye? Collapse. Well, it's looking like a collapse here. I mean, should be 0-2. Miraculous win against the Giants because it's just the Giants on a third-string quarterback. They had -8 passing yards and we almost lost. It's insane. I just can't believe you root for a team for years and years and we never have a good offense. Never. 2015 for an 8-game stretch. That's all we have. That's literally all we have. And the 09 and 10 seasons where we rushed the hell out of the ball. It's just, when are we gonna put it together? That's the issue. And all indications and red flags point to it's not happening anytime soon. Maybe we'll be hanging by a thread and Rodgers will come in and save the day, but like some Cinderella story, which honestly, listen to the way he talks, he's probably thinking about it. But I mean, it's just losses like this that just take all the air out of you. But the thing is, we're 4-4. We still have a chance to save the season, but something needs to change on the offensive side of the ball. Something. They need to do something. Because if they roll out the same scheme, the same players, the same everything, I just don't think we're going to win many games. The only games we're going to win is if the defense plays above perfect level. So anyway, that's my rant going on 20 minutes. And this is a good therapy session on my drive home. All the thoughts I had today. And I could bring up way more, but I mean, now we're talking an hour-long episode, and I don't really want to do that starting off, right? Maybe I can dissect issues as the week goes and bring it up one at a time, you know, in separate videos. But anyway, that was just a Jets rant, and I'll probably title it Jets rant. You know, just I'm sure a lot of fans are feeling this way, and it's good to vent, right? But the key thing is they are 4-4. They do have a chance to save it. It's just it's hard to be hopeful, right? When we collapsed last year, and it's looking like that's going to happen again. So maybe they'll bench Zach, and Simeon comes in and puts the team on his back and throws 6 touchdowns or 5 like CJ Stroud. You know, rookie quarterback having more I think the same amount of passing touchdowns as Zach Wilson in one game, and Zach has had an 8, which is just hilarious to me. CJ Stroud is definitely the one. But you know, I guess comparing that to Zach, who's a backup at this point, is unfair. But maybe Simeon will come in. Maybe they'll just bring it all together one day and it'll click. But right now it's not clicking, and I think it's time to panic. Alright, so I'll leave it off of there, and let's see, we got the Raiders next week. Maybe I'll do a video to plan ahead for that. Kind of bring up the same things I'm talking about now. I feel like a lot of these trends are going to be season-long conversations, because you know we're already 8 games in and it's the same shit every week. But anyway, I'm pulling in, gonna go home and eat some dinner and chill out. So still haven't thought of an outro, but hanging in there. Hope you guys are too. Subscribe. This is a new channel, so if you have any comments or suggestions on how to get better, let me know. But anyway, take care. See ya.